Hi. Think you surely love nature and all the good vibes it brings to us every time we come in experience of it, but to be honest here, not everything about this is all love and peace. Let's only have a look at the animal kingdom and you'll understand it can get pretty wild on the market. Today we're gonna be checking out 10 animals that hate the other person. Okay, I know hate is maybe not the top word to spell it out these interactions, since animals don't notice the in an identical way that we humans do. However, these animals don't get on at all, and from now on we're gonna realize why. And I'm not talking about your typical dog versus cat sort of fight, I'm speaking about a number of the craziest showdowns that you could stop aware of. Make sure you stay with me all the way. The number 1 pick. Keep in mind that if you see both of these animals, or you'll know you don't want to get in between them once they enter a fight. Without further ado, let's move on investigating these animals. Lions and hyenas. Lions and hyenas, the subsequent pair on this list may not be a surprise to most individuals. After each of the Lion King has done an incredible job at showing us if these two do not get along in any respect. I'm speaking about the lions. Along with the hyenas, you will find these eternal enemies fighting with the other person inside African savanna. It's evident that both teams of animals have become territorial, as well as they're both predators. They fight for dominance of the place where they're at. It's obvious how the lions may win any fight, but which doesn't make hyenas step back, particularly if they travel in clans of 25. Sometimes lions are hyenas for virtually no reason. Even though there's plenty of food for both groups, they're still pretty aggressive towards one another. Wasps and bees. Wasps and bees, even the smallest animals will surely have conflicts amongst them. That's the case of bees and wasps, two varied similar animals that don't go along in any way. Let's start by pointing out that wasps are bullies. They break in the beehives to steal their honey. Bees, however, don't go stand there and watch. After they identify a wasp in their territory, most of them gather around the intruder and raise their body temperature. The astonishing, a little strange for you, nevertheless they can raise their body temperature to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. They're able to get so hot for your lost eventually ends up getting cooked. While these are very good at defending themselves, wolves still threaten them. I guess it does seem sensible, since in the end wasps are greater than bees, whilst leaving kill and eat honeybees whether it gets them even more food. Then this same goes for hornets and their interactions with bees. In Asia there's a varieties of hornets so big that it works in categories of 30 roughly to address these and dominate their beehive after eating every one of its inhabitants. I suppose technically there ought to be a bees and wasps and hornets at tree, but well, either way, who that insect might be just so aggressive. Now you must for that day's best pick. After the look at a number of the wildest showdowns in nature, it's become quite obvious that the main reason for competition amongst animals is the battle for territory. Fire ant and fence lizard. Fire ant and fence lizard. Who does have thought that ants can take down a living lizard? Now this is what happens when unlucky fence lizards cross paths with teams of fierce fire ants. These 6 mm long bugs are known to get killed 8 cm long fence lizards within the southeastern part in the US. However, as these incidents become common, fence lizards have learned to shake the ants off and move to safer places. That's an incredible example of adaptation right there. In reality, some lizards that live flanked by fire ants are actually developing longer legs. It seems like the fight between these two animals is just not gonna end anytime soon, but no less than both sides are even, for now. Meerkats and drongo birds. Meerkats and drongo birds. With a listing so impressive like this one, it only is smart to get some exotic pairs of animals at the top, and give you somewhat of a perspective. Let me ask you some questions. Remember those kids who always got their lunch stolen? You one of the kids. Now permit me to ask, how must you feel about people who steal other people's food? Pretty upsetting, am I right? Well, I'm sure these bullies have a significant few enemies during lunch break, and from now on I'm going to explain to you an illustration in nature that mimics the complete situation. I'm talking of course in regards to the meerkats, and they're technically thieves and liars, causing them to be one with the biggest bullies available. And that is all for today. I know animals didn't behave inside in an identical way humans do, but this list can make it seem like you will find some pretty big issues available. What animals for this were one of the most surprising for your requirements. There is no inside the comments section listed below. Oh, it's in and done. I will look at you all next time, and also have a good day. Sharks and dolphins. Sharks and dolphins. Again, we now have another animal that doesn't get along with sharks, and while you might be keen on dolphins and how friendly they may be to as humans, they're a good threat to sharks. Actually, a shark may steer clear and visit a different way if it results in a dolphin. If these two do get into a fight, that dolphins possess a great deal of advantages due for their speed and suppleness. Dolphins also have quite strong snouts that develop serious injury to the sharks' bellies. The key reason why the belly is as the dolphins primarily attack them from below. Some sharks like to mess with baby dolphins, but doing a real thing usually ends in some revenge by the greater section of adult dolphins. Also, dolphins will defend humans when sharks come to fight them. Whoever messes with a dolphin or its friends is automatically an enemy for them, and it seems like sharks don't use a lot of friends in that area. The archer fish and bug. The archer fish and bug. When we consider animals hating each other, we probably don't imagine fish without delay. In fact, these guys seem so peaceful and try to mind their particular dang business. In reality, they're the ones who have to try to escape from predators, and they may be far away from being essentially the most aggressive living bugs in the underwater world. However, you'll be surprised to find out there's actually a number of fish which is actually looking for trouble. The ones will be the archer fish. Part in the toad set skin is a form of fish you can find in Thailand and many types of around Southeast Asia. The archer fish are known for shooting water and insects, which causes the crooks to fall into the water and become dinner for them. It definitely ate the archer fish if I was one of those poor bugs. Hippos and crocodiles. Hippos and crocodiles. It only takes one examine the Nile River to realize how bad crocodiles could be. They're one with the most dangerous animals around, to blame for around 755 attacks each year. However, hippos aren't actually the ones to watch out for. They're considered more aggressive and dangerous than crocs, and they can easily capsize any boat and kill any intruder that steps inside their territory. On that basis, in environments where two animals ought to coexist, crocodiles know it's better to leave hippos alone. They do not even mess with the child hippos because they are aware that these animals can kick them out of their habitat without a problem. Actually, crocodiles sometimes become chewing toys for baby hippos. Nobody wants to obtain on my small mom's bad side, particularly when we're discussing mommy hippos. Effortlessly their teeth and incredible speed, crocodiles have zero other choice apart from respecting the hippos. Wolves and coyotes. Wolves and coyotes. You ever been in the fight with people from a own family? Now I hope you made peace with them afterwards. I mean seriously, their family. On the other hand, all of us really have our issues. Zoo animals on another show, you actually come from the same family and they aren't necessarily friendly to one another. These are the wolves along with the coyotes, both coming from the family of dogs. Well, they certainly share a large amount of features. They adapted the planet in different ways. An example of this can be a way through which they replied to human tolerance. When humans began to take over the land, coyote began to hightail it and spread out. Wolves on the other hand decide in which to stay interact. Trolls are also quite bigger than coyotes. In order that it is smart, they are more fearless than their fellow canines. For that reason, there have been many cases in which wolves have attacked coyotes. It's been observed that sometimes wolves kill coyotes, but still they just don't eat them. Is it they're just looking to prove that they're more brave and powerful? But sometimes coyotes trail wolves only to get the cause of food, hoping to go unnoticed. I guess the correct answer is challenging to function as lesser strong among this canine family tree, so that you have got to be smarter. The mantis, shrimp and clams. The mantis shrimp and clams. The mantis shrimp, having its vibrant colors, is one that you would maybe want to devote your fish tank and keep being a pet, but don't let its size fool you. This animal has the ability to fight with all the force of a bullet and its quick sharp claws. It's actually pretty deadly. They keep their club folded against their bondhees, ready to release them and crush any prey that might cross their path. Where that reason, clams are certainly not a huge fan of them. The truth is, it seemed like everyone wants to avoid from them. It's even dangerous to have them in an aquarium since they could break the glass using shattering blow. It is no surprise it's called the thumb splitter. The management may not have a very lots of friends, and that we can clearly see why, mainly because it likes to eat the clams. Sharks and blanket octopus. Sharks and blanket octopus, and now back within the underwater world, at the blanket octopus as well as a shark. It's not surprising to own a blanket octopus here. In fact there's a great deal of surprising feature that you can't find in other animals. You nearly have some of the way they answer shark attacks, for example. Well, most of us and virtually every fish underwater would try to escape from a shark. The blanket octopus attaches certainly one of its arms to distract the threatening predator, and just like that the scene is claimed for your octopus to wrap that shark using its remaining arms. If you notice this octopus, you might mistake it for any blanket at first. That is certainly because the female types of this kind is one area being a cape interweb between her arms, which kids would be the appearance of your blanket. Maybe that is why it is so easier compared to tramp sharks. I'm sure they didn't expect such an attack from a pet that looks so inoffensive and tasty.